Welcome. Today we're going to be talking about how you can turn your dreams into a reality. Specifically, we're going to be diving into kind of the step-by-step mechanics of how you can break free from ordinary, way of life and start thinking about things on a much bigger scale, how to shift your perspective to set bold goals and ultimately turn your dreams into reality. So stick around, because by the end of this video, you're going to walk away with 6 actionable steps, things that you could do that are going to help you to expand your vision and create a powerful roadmap for success. Now, I'm also going to give you implementation strategies that ensure that, you don't just dream big, but you actually can achieve big. Now, these are the same strategies that I guide people through who are in as a part of the Giver Method, that helping them to unlock their gifts, their superpowers, and, to help them create real impact. So today, I'm going to pretend like you're one of my one-on-one clients, like you're here in my office with me and I'm coaching you through everything. So I want to deliver as much high-value mentoring and coaching as possible on this topic as we go. So let me set the stage by asking you this and really see, if this resonates with you. Have you ever felt stuck? And stuck in a routine of just everyday life, like you're going through the motions, but you're not really living out your life with purpose or with a lot of value. Have you ever looked at the successful people that you know or that you see and wondered how they made that leap from maybe just ordinary living to being extraordinary? Or maybe you have big dreams, but no idea where to start. Now, if any of that resonates with you, then you are in the right place, because that's what we're going to unpack today. Now, my name is Jake Talbert. I'm the founder and the author of The Giver Method. I will put a link to this book. Get it off Amazon. It's an Amazon bestseller, so you can go buy a copy for yourself. If any of those questions resonate with you, you're going to want to get a copy of the book. Or I'll also include at the top of the description a link to a free guide that you can get. And that free guide is called The Giver's Roadmap, where it helps you to start unpacking the 5 areas of the Giver Method, so you can kind of get your feet wet and get started. And then you can go get yourself access to the book at any time during that as well. I mean, these are the same things that I go through and walk people through, and I promise you that when you do that, it transforms your life. It helps you unlock gifts and superpowers to dream bigger and to actually have the steps in place to go and do that. Now, today, we're going to dive into these 6 kind of proven principles, these steps that I know to be true, that help people to develop a mindset and the mechanics for thinking bigger. Now, these aren't just theories, they're practical tools that I've seen transform countless lives from ordinary into extraordinary. Now, before we dive in, if you are new here, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Hit that bell for notifications. We don't want you to miss out on any of the content about unlocking your potential or creating meaningful impact as we go. Also, leave comments along the way about anything that jumps out to you or your aha moments, because sometimes what you say could be something that prompts somebody else's growth and learning along the way. And then, of course, make sure that you grab a piece of paper, take notes. That way, any of the action items we put into place, you could start doing today and start working your way towards, thinking and dreaming bigger and knowing that you've got the steps and roadmap to go and achieve that. Because today, I'm going to walk you through the exact principles and tools and techniques that will help you set in motion, the steps to achieve your biggest dreams. This is more than just goal setting. It's about stepping into your full potential and living a life that truly aligns with your purpose. So with that, we're just going to get started, dive right in. And so the first thing is shifting your perspective. Your perspective is the foundation of everything that follows, when you are pursuing bold dreams and bold goals. If your mind's trapped in any sort of patterns with doubt or fear or self-imposed limitations, even the best strategies in the world can fall flat. So your perspective is shaped by your past experiences, the environments you've been in, and reinforced by beliefs that you have. And if those experiences have led you to, believe that your big dreams are out of reach or success is reserved for others, then your actions will reflect those limitations. But, perspective is not fixed, it's adjusted, it's expanded, it's redefined, because it's part of the experiences and things that you go through. So when you change the mental barriers that have kept you playing small, you begin to see these opportunities where you saw obstacles in the past. You recognize that failure is not the end point. It's a stepping stone. It's sometimes a setback, but they're not signs to stop, but they're invitations to learn and grow and keep going. This kind of a mental shift requires active effort. It's not about just positive thinking. It's about rewiring how you interpret those challenges and training yourself to respond completely differently. Those who achieve their biggest goals don't do things different by accident. They develop the habit of reframing the difficulties into those learning experiences and consistently push beyond whatever their comfort zone is. This expands their perspective, about seeing the world differently. It's not just a theory, but in the way that, it influences the actions that they do, the actions that they take, the way you interpret your abilities, your circumstances, the setbacks that you may have, determine what steps you take and ultimately what you can achieve. One way to actively shift your perspective is to challenge those limiting beliefs that you have head on. Identify what thoughts you've kept you maybe stagnant, or held back. Write them down and ask yourself if these beliefs are actually true or if they're just assumptions rooted in some sort of a fear, and then rewrite that belief in a statement of possibility. Instead of saying like, I'm not at good at this, you just start to think like, hey, I'm learning and I'm improving each day and I'll figure it out. If you believe you lack experience, remind yourself every expert was once a beginner. Consciously restructuring your thoughts helps you to focus on the solutions rather than limitations. Another powerful tool is, shifting your perspective is using visualization, spending a few minutes each day picturing yourself as the person who's already achieved everything you're working towards. I actually have a video on the channel from a few days ago that you can go check out that actually walks you through some of that visualization. Think about, how do you think? How do you behave? What decisions did you make when you are in that future role of yourself? The clearer the vision, the more likely you are to take the step needed to bring that to life. You could also do like a vision board that serves as a daily reminder for your bigger goals. Go find the images, the quotes, the symbols that represent where you're headed and keep them somewhere visible. When doubt arises, reconnect with your vision to remind yourself why you got this started. As you shift that perspective, it directly impacts your ability to take action. If you see failure as the final, then you're going to hesitate to try things new or to try them with all of the confidence and your abilities that you could go try them with. If you believe you're not ready, you're not going to take the first step. But when you see those setbacks as just the temporary, they're temporary, and that they're growth and they're a part of that constant process, like that hesitation fades. You change the perspective, it creates resilience, and resilience fuels progress. You become more adaptable, more willing to take risks, and more open to the opportunities that seem out of reach. Without this sort of a shift, any attempt at goal setting or strategic planning is just going to be built on a shaky foundation. No matter how structured of a plan you could set up, if you don't believe the success is possible, then you're going to find ways to self-sabotage yourself. Your brain will default to those old patterns, rationalizing why things won't work out for you. But if you commit to shifting your perspective, you give yourself permission to think bigger and move with confidence and step into opportunities with a sense of readiness. Now, the second step is you really do need to now step back and ponder what your purpose is, because understanding your purpose is what separates meaningful pursuits from empty achievements. Even the most ambitious goals can feel hollow if they lack a deeper meaning. Purpose, it acts as the internal compass guiding your efforts so that, that you're not just moving forward, but you're aligned with what truly matters to you. It fuels resilience when challenges arise. It keeps you engaged even when that motivation starts to fade. Many people chase success without questioning why, only to find themselves unfulfilled when they reach their destination. I've seen that time and time again, where people achieve that financial goal, that business goal, that personal goal, and they feel lost and alone at the top at that point because it wasn't driven back by purpose. Purpose ensures that your accomplishments bring you lasting fulfillment rather than just checking off a milestone box. Your purpose is found where your passions, your talents, and your impact all intersect. When it's not just about personal satisfaction, but recognizing that your unique strengths, your gifts, your superpowers have the power to create something meaningful. When your goals that you have, your dreams are tied to a purpose, those setbacks feel like the necessary steps rather than reasons to quit. One way to uncover this is by reflecting on the moments when you felt the most alive and engaged. Maybe you journal about these experiences and reveal, look for the patterns that highlight where you just naturally thrive. Writing out the legacy that you want to leave behind also brings clarity on what truly matters to you, helping you align your goals to something deeper. Once you start to identify your purpose, putting it into words actually solidifies it as a guiding principle. Crafting maybe a personal mission statement, where you write one sentence that captures, what you're passionate about and the impact you want to make. It provides you so much clarity for your decision making. And then put that someplace visible. Revisit it as often as you need to, daily, weekly. It's going to reinforce your commitment to it. Building goals around purpose ensures that every time you reach any of those milestones, that you're continuing to be connected to it and it's meaningful to you. Without this sort of a clarity, it's easy to spend time chasing success that ultimately feels empty to you. Purpose helps, eliminate that misalignment, allowing you to pursue goals that resonate with you and who you are. Clarity, of your purpose keeps you moving forward even when things don't go as planned. It strengthens your resilience because when you know why you're doing something, discomfort and uncertainty feel less like barriers and more like stepping stones. Now, our third step is awakening to reality. Now, dreaming, about being better, in the future that's going to be essential to who you are. But without a clear understanding of where you currently stand, those dreams can stand very distant and feel so far away. Awakening to reality means taking that honest look at the gap between where you are and where you want to be. And it's not about discouraging you, but it's actually about clarity. Many people avoid this step because it forces them to confront the uncomfortable truths where it's a lack of skill or financial constraint or self-sabotage habits. When you ignore these sort of realities, it doesn't make them disappear. It actually just delays your progress. So the clearer you are about your starting point, the better equipped you'll be to make meaningful strides forward. An honest self-assessment helps you to identify what are the tools and habits and knowledge that I need to develop. Without that sort of a clarity, you risk just setting goals that are unrealistic in short term or leading to frustration and additional setbacks. Understanding the difference between where you are today and where you want to be allows you to build a achievable plan that's both ambitious and grounded. So it lets you set out whatever milestones to keep you moving forward with sustainable peace rather than blindly pursuing without any sort of preparation. One way that you can awaken to reality is, you conduct that sort of a self-assessment. Write down your goal in as much detail as possible. What does success look like? How does it feel to you? What are the measurable outcomes that you want to achieve? And then evaluate where you currently stand. Like, identify the skills you already have and those that you would need to develop to get there. And you may not know the answer, but that's something that then you need to go and figure out. Acknowledge any of the external barriers and think of the practical ways to overcome them. This process should be approached with honesty rather than any sort of a self-judgment. Seeing that full picture allows you to make informed decisions, and take the right steps forward from there. Once you've assessed your current situation, break down the areas where growth is needed into those small and actionable steps. If you need a new skill, seek out a course, a book, or a mentor. If finances are the concern, then let's start creating a resource plan through your savings or side work or partnerships. If daily habits don't align with your long-term goals, well, what are the small intentional adjustments you can make? Take those constant steps to build momentum. The small changes compound into significant change over time. Facing reality isn't about being pessimistic in any way. It's about being prepared. Many waste years chasing goals without a real strategy only to end up where they started. Awareness brings you so much more power. And when you truly understand what, reaching your goal requires, you move with intention rather than hoping things will just magically fall into place. Instead of waiting for the perfect conditions, you create them. Success isn't about, it's not out of reach for you in any way. It's for those who are willing to break their goals into tangible action steps, it's very much achievable. The difference between those who succeed and those who stay stuck in is their ability to map out a strategy rather than relying on wishful thinking. Now, the fourth step is realizing what your potential actually is, because it's about moving beyond ideas and taking actions. Many people have big dreams, but they get stuck in because they're viewing the goal as one massive challenge instead of a series of small and achievable steps and tasks. The key is making progress. The key to making any progress like that is to breaking your vision into structured milestones and creating a system for tracking the results. Every major accomplishment is the result of consistent and deliberate effort over time. Things like there's the SMART goal framework that you could use, where you have specific goals, eliminating measurable, how you look at them, they're achievable, they're realistic, they're time-bound, stuff like that. You could use that sort of a structure or any sort of additional structure that may be out there that helps you to break those down. Without a structured plan, even the most motivated individuals can struggle to move forward. And so a practical way, execute this is reverse engineer the goal. Start with the big picture and work your way backwards, yearly, monthly, weekly targets. What's the difference? This starts to make it, possible to have even the most ambitious goals and make them feel really manageable and keep you from feeling overwhelmed. Daily actions is what transforms vision into reality. People are never overnight successes. It's multiple steps that happened over a period of time. Taking 3 meaningful steps each day, whether it's reaching out to a mentor or working on a skill or completing a task, it builds that momentum. You write those priorities down every morning. It reinforces the focus and provides you, a sense of accomplishment as you get through them. Small efforts, they do compound, and what seems insignificant today becomes a foundation for long-term success. Momentum is created through that consistent execution. And the difference between those who succeed and those who stay stuck isn't talent, it's action and the action they take. And once you build momentum, taking the next steps becomes easier, and each completed action strengthens your beliefs, in success is not only possible, but it's inevitable. And then, of course, celebrate those wins along the way, no matter how small they may be. Now, the 5th step is going to be that you need to kindle your passion. Passion is what sparks excitement when you start pursuing a goal. But that initial energy alone isn't enough to sustain you through the obstacles and the doubt and the fear. Many assume motivation, will just always be there, but it fluctuates based on your circumstances or your emotions or the external pressures that you could have. The key to long-term success isn't relying on bursts of inspiration, but creating habits that keep the enthusiasm strong. When passion is intentionally nurtured, it shifts you from being unpredictable emotion to steady force of fuel that fuels your daily actions. Sustaining passion, it requires structure and routine. When you build rituals that reinforce your commitment, such as a morning routine centered on gratitude and visualization or reviewing your goals, you're going to create that environment where you stay engaged and it just feels natural to you. Small actions keep you moving forward even when motivation starts to dip. So techniques like a 2-minute rule helps you break resistance. It makes it easier to keep going when you feel overwhelmed. In 2 minutes, I'm going to take a step forward. I must surround myself with reminders of why I got started, such as quotes and visual cues. It's going to strengthen your connection to your goal. Without passion, even the most well-planned goals can feel like an obligation rather than an opportunity, and those who succeed long-term are not necessarily the most skilled, but the ones that consistently reconnect with that purpose and build in the routines to make progress inevitable. Passion is not just a feeling, it is a commitment that must be reinforced, and that's done through interaction and the intentionalness that you have with it. When you create habits that sustain your enthusiasm, progress it fuels your motivation, and motivation fuels you into even further progress. Momentum keeps you engaged even when the excitement of the early days starts to fade, ensuring that your efforts lead to something truly impactful. And then, of course, the 6th and final step is you have to embrace imperfection and being able to iterate on things, because perfection is often the biggest obstacle to progress. Many people hesitate to take action because they fear making mistakes. But mistakes are not signs of failure. They are actually the evidence that you're moving forward. Growth happens when you step into the unknown, take risks, and accept the setbacks as part of the process. The most accomplished individuals are not those that never fail, but those that learn and adapt and keep going. Waiting for the perfect conditions or the perfect plan or the perfect day, only leads to inaction, while those who just embrace the fact that imperfection allows themselves to move forward, and they can improve along the way. When I first started writing the book, I knew it wasn't going to be right, and I knew I'd go through multiple stages of iteration. When I started making video content, same thing. I still am not great at it, but I keep going and iterating and trying to work on getting it better each and every single time. Iteration allows us to take ideas and evolve them, to take skills and sharpen them and strategies and to improve them beyond where they're at. The best way to learn what works is to try it and then evaluate it and then refine what you did. When you shift your mindset to see those sort of a mistake as feedback rather than failure, you're going to remove the fear that holds many people back. Taking the time to just reflect on that regularly, whether it's through journaling or self-assessment or asking better questions, helps you to identify what's working or maybe what needs some adjustment. Taking those small and consistent actions builds more momentum, and each step forward strengthens your confidence and your resilience. Avoiding failure often means avoiding progress. And those who achieve meaningful success are the ones who are willing to just step outside their comfort zone, take some action, and refine the approach as they go. The ability to iterate allows you to adjust without abandoning your goal. Adapt without feeling, any sort of a feeling of discouragement, and then just improve without waiting for ideal conditions to come. Success isn't about avoiding mistakes, it's about learning from them and continuing anyways. When you embrace imperfection, you remove hesitation, you accelerate growth, and you build confidence needed to reach your goal. Because turning dreams into a reality, it isn't magic. It's the result of that intentional thinking and consistent actions. In the same way, big picture thinking and turning those dreams into reality, like, that's not a single dramatic change you'll ever make. It's these small, consistent efforts, intentionality, that transforms your mindset and your actions. Every step and principle that we've discussed today builds upon each other, creating this comprehensive system to achieving the boldest dreams that you could think of. Remember, you don't need to implement everything at once. Start with just one thing, one principle that resonates with you, the most, and build from there. Share that in the comments. I'm going to start with this one. I'm going to build on it from there, and why. Every step forward, no matter how small, moves you closer to your dreams when you're thinking big and acting strategically. Now, if you want to dive deeper into how you transform your life and you achieve extraordinary goals, then once again, go get the book out of the description, go on Amazon, get access to it, or download the Giver Roadmap, that free resource that I'm going to give to you, and really start to get into that more and more. We want you to be able to awaken your potential and create more meaningful change to yourself and those around you. Now, if this video, if it resonated with you, if it helped you, if it stood out to you and you're like, this is awesome, then give it a thumbs up. Once again, subscribe, ring that bell for notifications if you haven't already. Leave a comment below telling us which principle, which step, which thing resonated the most with you and how you plan to implement it, because we want to help motivate others as they see those. And so with that, I'll just say, until next time, just keep thinking big, keep taking action, keep giving as much as you can, and remember that your dreams are waiting for you to turn them into reality. Just start taking those first steps to make them a reality, and that starts today. And so have a great rest of your day. We will catch you in our next video.